and now I give the floor to the distinguished representative of Sovereign Order of Malta.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Sovereign Order of Malta, from its inception in Jerusalem over 900 years ago, has both advocated and encouraged the involvement of young people, encouraging them to dedicate themselves to providing health and palliative care to those of all faiths and of none. Today, tens of thousands of young volunteers work in community service projects, supporting voluntary ambulance programs, providing first aid assistance, working in summer camps for the disadvantaged, and in a myriad of other ways throughout the world. Members of the Alliance of Orders of St. John could not exist without youth volunteers, who, for instance, staff the St. John Ambulance Brigade in the UK, in Australia, in New Zealand, which provide needed first aid services throughout the Commonwealth, through Europe and the Middle East. Over 50,000 young people serve their fellow citizens in the Johanniter Orden in Germany, while the Order of Malta, along with many other aid organizations, has seen tens of thousands of young men and women on the front line assisting Ukrainian refugees. In considering the critical issue of engaging youth in combating crime, the Sovereign Order of Malta encourages countries to invest more in supporting youth volunteerism, particularly in communities that are socially and economically disadvantaged and which are often prone to crime and violence. More needs to be done to provide probationary activities for young offenders, providing opportunities that will bring them into contact with peers who have found their way out of the labyrinth of crime and violence that so often mars young lives. Likewise, we support the call of Pope Francis to ease criminal penalties for all children and to encourage the development of monitored volunteer service opportunities linked to rehabilitative education programs. Such initiatives cost money and demand resources, yes, but so does the current criminal punishment system. You can see Rikers Island prison from the veranda of the United Nations. Keeping a prisoner there costs over $160,000 a year by some estimates, more than the cost of 4 years at an Ivy League university. In Sweden, it's estimated that the cost of keeping an inmate in prison is $60,000 a year. Such costs are intolerable, particularly in respect of incarcerated children and youth, and society would be better served and would better serve them if such funds were allocated to training, to support volunteer engagement. In the reform of prison systems and when it comes to the rule of law, particularly in areas that impact youth and children, not to hear young voices and not to listen to their concerns could be considered a crime in and of itself. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the